Ever since I finished Cyberpunk for the first time, that dystopian Blade Runner setting has just lived rent-free in my mind. So much so that I've been seeking more and more of that genre over the years. And I feel like I finally found something new that can scratch that itch. So I've been binging everything, like the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime. It was incredible. It was one of the most bittersweet endings you'll see in anime. Their Phantom Liberty DLC, that story, I mean, was just tragic at the end. The ending I got for that DLC, waking up in the hospital 5 years later. And that completed the resurrection of that game. And then, of course, I did the original Blade Runner and the newest one with Ryan Gosling. So yeah, you can definitely say there's something about that dystopian futuristic setting that just resonates with me. And those are just the big ones. Like, there's just a ton of games wishlisted on my Steam that kind of have a similar setting, but it doesn't look like those games are even real or might not even come out. But Replace, a 2.5 dimension cyberpunk game, has scratched that itch, like I mentioned earlier. And today I want to share with you what exactly impressed me about that game and why I liked it so much, because I didn't think I would originally. And I also wanted to try doing a game preview for the first time because I love watching them, and I finally found a game that I really wanted to talk about. So this game was shown years ago, but I actually didn't hear about it until about 2 months ago. I believe it was at the Game Awards is when I first saw this. And of course, as soon as I saw the cyberpunk setting, I was interested. But the fact that it was the 2.5 dimension style, I was a little wary at first because I've never really played games like this. Like, I think as a kid I did, like really young, maybe on Nintendo or GameCube, but like I've never really gotten into this style. Like, I've never played Hollow Knight. I know God of War just released, I think, Sons of Sparta or whatever it's called. They just made their own version of it. Blasphemous, I believe, is another popular entry. I've just never played this style before, but I've wanted to because they're really popular. I mean, people love Hollow Knight. I couldn't believe how big of a fan base that game had. I didn't even originally hear about it when it first dropped. So the fact that a studio was doing that, but with the cyberpunk setting, just caught my attention, mainly because doing this created a big challenge for themselves. And I just wanted to see how they were going to attempt to solve it. Because these cyberpunk, like Cyberpunk the game, Blade Runners, anything like that, they have these crazy action scenes with the futuristic helicopters, the cyborgs fighting. Like, the chaotic scenes that are shown in those are just terrific. But how does a game with this 2.5 dimension style replicate that and give that same feeling? I realized the only way they were going to be able to do this is through world building and creating an amazing story and dialogue. And also, I would assume creating really good combat, because that's kind of what these games revolve around. Otherwise, they would just get way too repetitive doing the same thing over and over. And I'm assuming that's what makes games like Blasphemous and Hollow Knight so popular to begin with. So they released a 30-minute demo for this just last week. So you play as Reach, who's essentially this AI trapped inside of another human's body, and he's trying to get the body back to its original person, whoever owned it originally. But literally just like 30 seconds into the game, you can feel that cyberpunk dystopian setting. So the first thing I love about this is you don't get the ammo off getting a bunch of kills. You get it through just the melees themselves. That bottom left bar fills up the ammo gauge, and that's what gives you ammo to shoot. And it's just basic combat. It kind of reminds me of the Ninja Gaiden take on this style of game. You have your main attack with X, and you also have a counter with Y. And these counter animations these are what makes the game cool. There's a bunch of animations you can get that aren't just the regular attack moves. There's a bunch. But yeah, I know I'm probably biased to this type of game and setting, but just like the rain itself, like when you're going through different parts of the city, you can hear the rain hitting metal, grass. When you're inside of a building, the rain, like, it just sounds perfect the way the sound design is. Like here, you can hear the rain beating up against like a plate, like a metal plate. And it has like that eerie just music with it behind it. And they do a really good job at like giving you like that kind of like worry that like you're being hunted down. So this truck above me is hunting me down, but they can't see me unless the light hits me head on. Otherwise, they'll shoot you like that. So you have the person speaking in your ear, guiding you through, but you also get these little lore pieces that you can view with this wingman you got. It just is its own little guide of intel, and it organizes it to the tutorials. You can re-listen to music and all of that. That's its little index. Like the rain over here, you don't really hear it beating against the metal too hard, but as you get closer to here, you can really hear it hitting that. I never thought a game like this would be immersive, but it really is. And it reminds me of The Last of Us a little bit, where you have your parkour and you also have like, you know, you move a dumpster to help you climb up or move like a ladder, things like that. Like, it kind of has that PlayStation formula, just in a different format. Now, this is a yellow paint game. I don't mind it, but I know a lot of people prefer it to be a little more challenging. So I would be curious to see if there's an option when the game actually releases to take that out. Because as it is right now, there are no difficulties you can change from. I just love how you'll be crawling in a vent and then they immediately throw you back into it. And I just found a little lore piece that was just sitting on the counter there. And I just think it's cool. Like this is how you learn about the world. It's through these little bits and notes. And it kind of starts to answer the question of like, what exactly went so wrong here? Because this takes place where they kind of live in a main area, and these are considered like the outskirts where people don't live anymore. Even though they're told that people are just fine out here, you're kind of wondering why everything went downhill, because you're told that they're fine, but they really aren't. So yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of the story before you guys get your hands on it, as far as what the lore actually teaches you, but I honestly was just so impressed with this game. I've never really tried this style too much, and I'm glad that I finally get to experience it with one of my favorite settings. I can play games like this forever. And the coolest thing I think that I've seen so far is from reading from other creators who have gotten to play it for the extended 3 hours, you get to see how the game really changes, like the setting changes, and they try their hardest not to get repetitive, which I could see being an issue for a game like this, just doing the same levels over and over again. And apparently, from what I've read, the creators were even shown bits and pieces of future levels. So I can't wait to see how much this game changes based off what I've only played so far, which was only that 30-minute demo. Now, I will say, I really, really wish there was some type of voice acting in this game. I think any narrative-based game should have voice acting, just some. It doesn't have to be all. Like, I don't mind clicking through and reading the subtitles at all. Don't mind that. But like, it'd be really cool if the narrator maybe was voiced, or if the villains were occasionally voiced once in a while, to really kind of add to that immersion, to take it to another level. It'd be cool if they just have like a handful of voice actors. Not everything needs to be fully voice acted. But yeah, that is the only thing I wish they did have to increase that immersion. But like I said earlier, man, the music and atmosphere of this game, what I've experienced, and from what it sounds like, gets better and better throughout it. I'm just so impressed with Studio Sadcat and what they've done. I'm definitely going to be trying this when it comes out, April 14th, so I can finally start getting answers, I guess, for this game. I love games where they just throw you in and they give you more questions and answers in the beginning. They don't just immediately start walking you through the entire world with like an hour-long tutorial where they teach and show you everything. Like some games take it to like 6 hours where they don't let you fully unleash you into the world. And this game just releases you, throws you out there, and they just start giving you the questions like, wait, how does this work again? The AI is inside of the body, but I can turn the body back to its original owner. So yeah, I can't wait to actually play this. And let me know down below what you think. I highly recommend giving it a shot. I know they got the demo on Steam. It's probably on console too, if I had to imagine, because it's releasing on all platforms. And let me know what you think. And if you enjoy this sort of thing or gaming news in general, be sure to check out the channel. It would mean a lot. And drop a like if you also enjoyed this. Peace.